Who's going fishing Sunday?
I am. Let's go.
Let's go.
I am.
I'm in.
What? Wait. You put that cat down.
Yeah. The cat's in.
I was trying to be a Bond villain. I apologize.
Yeah.
It's warm by this fire, Buck.
We're not even in the fire. We need to jump in the current.
We got to cool off in the current.
I just want everyone to know, I mean, we say it all the time. You have 7 best friends when you tune into us every week.
And it's wild because we used to say that, but now it's so real.
And it was just a real existential morning, guys.
God, existential.
Did you short drift them?
Well,
That's a yes.
That's what the Canadians say. No bueno.
No bueno. If there is a traditional Canadian saying, no bueno.
And we're back. This is Rhino Pursuit Podcast, and you're in the current. It's Reality Outdoor Radio, where our mission is to get you outdoors by connecting you with the skills, products, and people you can trust. Mm-hmm. I'm Dave, and joining me is...
I'm Steve.
I'm Will.
It's Bucky.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
Hey, Bucky, tell us about this month's sponsor.
I'll tell you about this month's sponsor. Element Outdoors is a relatively new camouflage apparel company that was founded by a couple of hard-working guys. They were fed up with spending their hard-earned money on hunting apparel or having to sacrifice quality for subpar products.
I heard that.
At Element Outdoors, good camo doesn't have to be expensive, and affordable outdoor gear doesn't have to be poorly made.
Oh, yeah.
Element Outdoors is technical clothing built by and for the working man. Find your addiction. These guys are running an exclusive special for the entire month of May.
Get out.
Where you can receive 20% off your order.
What?
When you enter RRP20. Yep, that's RRP20.
RRP20?
RRP20
Love
is
it.
exactly it when you check out. Just go to elementoutdoors.com today.
Good stuff.
It is.
So, boys, what's been going on this week? Were you hunting turkey, Stevie?
What was that?
I did not hunt any turkey.
Oh,
No.
did you go fishing?
I might have. Yeah. I thought.
How about you slow roll that a little bit slower?
I thought I was done trout fishing, but no.
Turns out
I'm
weren't.
not. Yeah. But no, they're just still trout fishing.
You've been out a bunch, though, in the last week. Yeah, you're thinking over there. It's more than 3.
I don't think so.
I'm telling you, you fished more than 3 times this week.
Yeah, you're slow rolling
That's
that
a
too.
pretty
bud.
easy bet.
Maybe I did.
I'll put money on that.
I'm sorry. Yeah, nothing. I don't have a whole lot going on. Just normal, lunchtime fishing, weekend fishing. Nothing insane like you guys.
Did anybody take a kite out last Saturday? I mean, go to Pennsylvania's turkey opener? Boy, was it windy.
It was windy.
Ugh.
I got out.
I tried to go. Mm-hmm. I put a couple hours in, but
Did you?
man, I couldn't hear a thing.
Where'd you go?
Nothing.
No. Well, there was the faint sound of possibly a shotgun going off.
Yeah.
And,
Did you go to your normal spot?
well, that's the part of the problem. I didn't sleep in. I didn't get up late. I got there. Actually, I thought a little bit early, but there's already 2 trucks parked in my spot.
What do you do when that happens?
Go down the road further. Only because I knew for sure one guy walked, as I pulled in, this guy was walking directly down the little path to cross the road and go in the woods right where I wanted to go. So he was in the area enough to know that it's turkey season. There's no orange requirements. There's no reason to get that close to somebody if you know exactly where they're going to be, or relatively close.
So when you say where you wanted to go, is that because you knew birds were roosting in that area?
I didn't get a chance to put anything to bed, but historically, that's a spot where I can go and I'll at least hear some birds.
Okay.
It's just a good little hollow, and I figured with
a holler,
and I figured with the wind being as bad as it was, I wanted to be in low. There's some thick, heavy pines in there for the birds to get out of the wind. Mm-hmm. Chances are they weren't roosting up on the ridges like they normally would be. These were all the thoughts I was playing out in my head, so I thought, this is as good a spot as any. I guess so, because those 2 trucks were parked right there.
Does that, like, can that just totally? So that's a spot you're planning on
Ruin
going?
my attitude?
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
it's not like fishing where you can just walk down the bank and
Yeah.
find another spot.
No,
Like,
I drove up the
that's-
road about a quarter mile to another pull-off.
So that could be someplace where you've never been before. You
And,
have no idea you're going to get out and hike for a little bit.
I'm going in the dark,
Yeah.
carrying the shotgun and the decoys and my little bench,
Oh man,
hoping to find somewhere that looks good in the dark and still looks good when the sun comes up. Obviously, if you have the owl call, you can try to call and hear stuff go off, or just walk around in the quiet and listen for birds.
who?
But there was who
Who cooks for you?
That's a good one.
Thanks.
That was good.
You don't need to carry a call.
I can't do it loud though.
Oh,
But there was no way I was getting away with any of that in the wind. So waited till the sun came up, and I gave it a good college effort. I was in the woods till probably about 10.
What college?
College and no turkey.
Oh,
No
that-
turkey for you.
Turkey Community College.
But yeah, then I packed it up. But hey, that's why they call it turkey hunting and not turkey shooting.
Yeah,
That's what you say whenever you walk away with nothing.
yeah. That wasn't the only outdoorsing you did over the last couple days. right?
No, but I think, Will, did you say you got out
Yeah, buddy.
opening day?
Did you, buddy?
I had a good day.
How'd the wind work out for you? Did you get to hear anything?
We got as close as you possibly can get to killing a turkey without killing a turkey.
did you go to a petting zoo?
Freezer section.
We sure did.
Yeah. So Bucky and I got out on the mountain that we hunt, and we had a plan. And when we got to the parking lot, that plan dissolved very,
Here we
very
go
quickly.
again.
Rapidly.
Into the 20-mile-an-hour wind.
Oh,
I mean, it's not.
But it wasn't because of the wind.
It wasn't terrible.
Not at all.
We had birds gobbling their heads off.
Nice.
Just as Will predicted the day before. No, 2 days before.
I didn't really. I hoped. It was more of a hope. But when we got there, we said, I think we can get to these birds.
yeah.
And I didn't know.
So you're going in the dark, and you already heard them gobbling, or like were
Yeah.
you set up and did you do a locating call? Like,
Nothing. They were.
And we didn't even shut the truck doors hard or anything. There was no reason that we caused for them to. They were already
They were calling
up.
Will and Phil.
They were
Yeah.
saying, "Welcome, guys."
What time in the morning is this?
5:15, 5:30.
So it's still pretty dark.
So they're. And that was enough. I mean, I didn't need a ton, but they got to the point where we figured out there's more than one bird. One gobbled above the parking lot, and like 3 gobbled below the parking lot. And the ones below the parking lot, I think we can get to them. Still on our property. I don't know, but let's go try this out.
Sure.
So,
Went for a little walk.
yeah, there's something that I didn't really convey, and Bucky and I learned a lot.
Oh,
When we're going to set up on birds,
Yeah.
we can't pack the kitchen sink anymore.
not like that.
We took everything that we needed for the day, but we're going to go set up on birds.
Well, you were originally intending to go to a blind, right?
Yes.
That was the original intention.
Yeah.
So you had stuff that if you're doing like a run and gun type setup where you're trying to chase birds across a ridge, you wouldn't take all of that
No.
normally. But because you had intended
Right.
to go to a blind
Yeah.
and hunt the day from a stationary position, sometimes
Mostly
it takes some more
stationary.
stuff.
Yeah. We have the ability to run and gun, but we didn't know. So when these birds were going, we decided to go out and try to get on these birds. And I know from our scouting that we've been able to get up on this little like rock outcropping where I thought it was a perfect place for deer.
Right.
I triangulated that in my head.
Nice.
I didn't know, but that's where I was heading. You know what I mean?
Right.
You just kind of you hoped, and as we
It's an educated guess.
It
at
was
that
an
point, 'cause
educated guess.
You've put some boots on the ground. You knew the area, and it's hard. I mean, especially in some wind, it is hard to pinpoint exactly where a call's coming from.
Stand by.
Oh, a little foreshadowing there.
Stand by.
Easy. This is slow rolling going on.
All right, sorry.
I'm not trying to. So we're working our way around, and as we're working our way around, the birds calling are actually staying to our right. So we're
circling them.
circling them.
Yeah.
You know, we're flanking them. We actually made it to the rocks that I wanted to go to, and it was just it was nuts. I mean, it was
Hurry up. Get up in there.
so I
You're
knew
in
we
the
were
thick of it.
close.
Yes.
I felt like we were close. I'm like, get in the rocks. We're gonna screw this up. If, just get in the rocks. And then I went above just a little bit. I couldn't see Bucky, but I just went a little bit above him.
I couldn't see Will,
Got in the rocks.
hear him, nothing.
Yeah.
It was like I was alone. It was I'm sorry to interrupt. I mean, because when you went, I mean, it was like, where'd he go?
Wanted me.
Do you think you're going to get carried off by all these turkeys?
No,
He
but
wanted to sit between my legs, and I called.
I thought I would we'd be able to at least do a little whisper back and forth, but it was, but
I didn't know how close they were. I didn't
Right.
want to. I didn't want to blow this. And when it got a little bit more daylight, we're up on this knoll. I don't even know.
Yeah.
They're in the pines. I could see them in the pines about 50 yards away,
Still up in the tree.
like direct eye line. Like they're down just a hair. We're up high, and they're in the trees, like shaking all around because of the wind. It was. I'm like, I never would have had the balls to set up on them that close.
To get that close. If
No,
you
no,
knew
no.
that's
If I
exactly-
didn't
had
know,
we known,
yeah, that they were actually that close, I was freaking out. Okay, so what do I know to do? I'm going to get in, get down, shut up, don't move, don't do anything. I called just a little bit, yelp, 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 yelp.
Nice soft little tree yelp.
Yep, put it down.
barely audible to my ear.
Yep, put it down. Don't do anything.
Did they gobble back at you?
Oh, they were gobbling like crazy.
Oh yeah, and about this time, it went from gobble gobble. There was and then I'm like, holy cow! There's definitely more than two now. This is
like
nuts.
we set up on 5 jakes basically,
Wow.
and
That's a good morning.
then I saw them pitch down, and they kicked towards us like they're coming down and gobbling their heads off the entire time.
Oh,
And I couldn't believe it. Like this was the way that when you talk to a turkey hunter, when you talk to anybody who's been in, this is the perfect thing.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of times, if they know you're around, they're going to pitch away from you and get out of town. Whatever. But we had them coming up to us.
It's like everything you guys have talked about, everything that we've heard other people like Tracy Groves talk about, Pick Diesel talk about. It was textbook, guys, and like unfolding before my eyes on my 4th, 5th turkey hunt.
Yeah.
Like I'm blessed for having had that.
Yeah. So anyway, long story short, they start working up towards us, and they saw something. I don't know if it was me, if it was Bucky, if it was like.
I'm going to claim that they saw me peek around the rock.
I didn't
was
see
hiding
birds.
behind.
Bucky saw birds.
I saw 2 jakes. Inexperienced hunter. If I was more experienced, I probably might have had a shot, but never shooting a turkey before. I was not
Right.
sure. So
Got to make sure it feels
therefore,
right.
yes. And I was just waiting for a couple more steps, 2, 3, 5 more steps tops, and bam.
It's boom town.
But as soon as I did I think I peeked out. It caught me.
They probably looked like the same. They were like mirrors of each other. Like one of the.
And then they started doing that what are they?
What is that?
That putting,
The putt.
and then they just kind of hightailed it just the opposite direction, back up and up the ridge line.
There you go.
Busted.
It's a good morning.
That is.
And then,
So did you just quit work the rest of the week and keep going?
to be honest, my head hasn't completely
You know the
left
answer to
that set. I mean, I've still been sitting there with that in my head
Just
all week
reliving
long,
it, yeah.
reliving it and wanting to get back to that spot again.
So you're going out again Saturday.
I hope we are.
Did you guys set up any decoys?
Not that time.
I thought
No
we
kidding.
were. we're too close. Let's just get in and
Yeah,
get down.
So they were just coming off of you based off, or coming at you based off that
One
little
little-
Yelp call.
Yeah.
Knowing what you know now of how that all unfolded, would you try to get there earlier?
No, I wouldn't do anything different. I just wouldn't move. I wouldn't do a thing. That was it. We were set. Everything was perfect. I wouldn't do anything. It came at us. It was the best case scenario until we got busted. I don't know what busted us, but and Bucky's being gracious. I don't know what busted us.
Because I wasn't completely set. I still had a black top on. I had to move a little bit to get a camouflage top. I mean, I say that I wanted, if I could have just gotten there about 15 minutes earlier or before we left the parking lot, be said that was a lesson learned to be more set.
Yeah, we took, like I said, I think we took too much. We had to adjust too many things, and we had, Bucky looked like a pack mule. And it was
because I had two decoys with me.
I didn't want to take the decoys, but I don't want to tell a grown man what to do. So
He never does that.
No. They very possibly could have heard my heart beating out of my chest too. I mean, that very possibly could have been the giveaway there too.
Was that the closest that you've been to a bird goblin?
In hunting season? Yes.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've seen a bird turkey hunting. I've heard 'em.
Changes you.
Yeah. I think worse now than ever.
I never set up on them right away like that. Like I've always set somewhere and then they came into me.
I've
later
never
in
seen
the
them
day.
fly down. Well, I mean, I've seen turkeys fly down, but
Sure.
when I set up in the morning to hunt birds, I've never seen those birds that I was hunting fly down.
Yeah,
So that's pretty cool.
it was pretty magical.
Yeah.
It was.
I did set up one time directly underneath one that I didn't realize. Like my back was against the tree that it was in.
What?
Because when I gave my first little tree yelp one time, the gobble came from straight above.
I had that happen in archery. Like I
Scared
wasn't
the crap
gobbling,
out of me.
but I was in a tree like beside a roost, and they just scared the crap out of me. Yeah, because you're all 100% deer hunting, and you're like, and all of a sudden there's this big butterball smacking every limb coming down the tree.
They are not graceful.
No.
That's for sure.
Can you shoot them while they're roosting?
No, I think that's like not good. That's not good etiquette.
It isn't.
I think
your
it's
regs.
more of an etiquette thing than a legal thing, but I
don't-
could be wrong.
I
and
don't
I check your regs
on that, but I don't think that's.
But people
that's-
don't. That's just
You gotta.
just don't.
Plus, it's got to be somewhat daylight.
Yeah, I think you got 20,
Okay.
20
So-
minutes or something, 30 minutes before sunrise.
Yeah.
So but most of the time they're on the ground by the time it's legal shooting. Up.
Gotcha. So that's probably the reason why.
Yeah.
It's just not good etiquette.
I heard one. Well, I wasn't here last week, but so you guys were talking about like Easter weekend.
Yeah.
That Friday I was out bass fishing, and I got in a cove, and one was just lighting up, and it's like maybe 3 miles away from the Maryland line, and I was like,
Think you could call them over?
Can I push you to the Maryland line and then set up on you on Monday morning? But not at all.
It was a magical morning. That, like I said before,
That's cool.
it was storybook, just like you've always heard.
Yeah.
Couldn't have had it lay out and
Yeah.
happen any more like everybody says it should.
Yeah, I wouldn't do anything different. I honestly wouldn't. That's just everything worked out that morning. It just we didn't take home a bird. Got anybody else fishing, doing anything cool?
Well, I did get an opportunity to tag along on a striper trip.
No way.
Oh yeah.
Do tell.
My wife's cousin, he helps. He's basically a first mate on a boat that leaves out of.
See English. Hey, mate.
He's first mate. Yes, he is. Top. He's first mate on a boat that leaves just south of the Route 50 bridge, I think, somewhere over there. And
So like the Severn River, Annapolis.
yeah, it's down around Annapolis, and they enter a bunch of tournaments. Like it's not a charter boat; it's a tournament fishing boat, and they also do a lot of stuff, I guess, with tuna and like a lot of offshore stuff too on this boat. It's a huge, massive boat. It could have been, one of the fleet that you see on Wicked Tuna.
Wow.
and stuff. It's just a beautiful boat.
Yeah. My captain
It's huge.
said he did not know those guys. They're the offshore guys. They only come in for tournaments and things.
Yeah. Well, there
my
is
captain's more of a Chesapeake Bay guy.
right. And there is a tournament going on actually. Right now when we're recording this is the first day of the tournament that's happening. And because these guys are big tournament fishermen, they wanted to take a group out, get bodies on the boat to help put out lines and just do a test run.
Yeah.
So we got to tag along. Took Hunter.
That's a good deal.
And
Heck
we
yeah.
got to go out, run 40 lines off this big boat
Take
and
'em.
troll for quite a while. The cool thing was that the captain had been getting reports that they were catching bigger fish a lot further south.
Yeah.
So rather than just coming out of the marina where he's at and fishing the bay right in the area where he's at, we got on the boat at 4:20 a.m.
Yeah.
and drove 2.5 hours south in the bay.
wow.
We were all but in the Virginia part of the
Wow.
bay. Then we started fishing. It was basically just like doing a tuna fish trip.
Was it?
You know, we were on the boat
Yeah.
that long before the sun came up and before we were able to start putting lines in the water, but we couldn't have had the lines in for more than 15 minutes. Maybe we weren't done setting up.
Yeah.
And Hunter already had one coming in. And that was 43 incher
That's crazy.
that we put on the boat. And that was a big fish.
Yeah.
Was a big fish. Until Hunter caught his second fish.
Yeah.
And we knew, like I could tell. So watching him fight that 43 incher
Yeah.
and just the way that
Go
we
on.
were also explaining that was the first really big fish that he's ever, fought off of a boat.
Not like that
You know,
catfish you caught at Pinchot.
pull up, reel down. But we were walking him through the process. But I watched him fight this 43-inch striper.
Were
And,
you like, that's my boy?
and he's doing good.
Yeah.
The next time he picks up a rod, and we had caught a couple other smaller stripers.
Ooh.
He sets the hook on this one. Actually, Brad from Span the Void set the hook on this one. And then he handed the rod off to another young man that was on the boat. And he goes, here, buddy, you take this one. And the kid got 2 or 3 cranks. And he's like, I can't do it. Hunter, come take over. So he hands the rod off to Hunter.
Yeah.
Oh, and Hunter's like a male wench.
2 or 3 pulls on this
Male
thing.
winch.
That's what I meant to say.
I watched him take 2 or 3 pulls on this fish. And
Yeah.
I thought, this is a big one.
Yeah.
Because he kind of had this look on his face like, this is different.
Yeah.
And he basically joined the 50-pound club.
That is awesome.
It was just over 50 inches.
Holy cow.
And the only thing that they had on the boat that day
Prom
for a
night.
scale was like one of those rusty old metal scales.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you for sure how heavy it was, but a rusty scale that didn't seem like it was probably on said 49.5 pounds.
We'll call it
So,
50.
I was definitely calling it 50, and I told the captain, I said, this thing's probably off by about 3 or 4 pounds, so I'm calling it 52er.
Yeah.
But we'll just round it down to 50.
You should have like hung from it.
When I held the fish up, because Hunter was kind enough to let me take a picture or two with it, but I held the fish up,
Yeah.
holding it up around my chin, that thing was almost mid-shin. It was big.
Yeah, but you're only like,
Hey, easy.
okay.
You're like a
Deek.
50-pound striped bass.
Don't make me be medium heavy, extra sensitive tonight.
Too late.
I think you're showing your colors, bud.
From chin to shin, you're 50
From
pounds.
That's right.
You're all but 50
chin to shin.
pounds,
I'm a
dude.
50-pounder.
Bass always shows its stripes.
That's what they say.
But yeah, we had a very, very good day. Very long day because of the distance we put in to try to go down, troll
That's
around.
ridiculous.
But
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
captain was pretty happy with the results, and I think he might have actually been making phone calls to some of the marinas about 60 miles south, and he was renting a slip for the tournament.
Right.
Yeah, he doesn't want to run that trip 4 or 5 days in a row.
Yeah, I bet.
The back and forth. So it apparently is a lot cheaper to rent a slip for 4 days than it is to spend the gas to burn up and down
How
that many times.
Did you
But
catch how many horsepower that?
Yeah,
that boat
there's
had?
twin motors.
Yeah.
They were moving some water, bud,
Oh boy,
from those vids.
what did he say they were? They were 1500s each one.
Ooh.
It was over 3,000 total. I forget what he said, like
Holy
1650s or something like that. Is that a number? 1650. I know it's
That's
a number.
a number, bud.
Yeah.
Just like the 306.
These weren't like
be a
outboards that you see on.
No.
These are like diesels.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing was just
Ooh.
it was hauling
You're
the mail.
flying.
In the morning we didn't get to move too quick
Yeah.
because it was pretty rough and choppy. I bet you there was probably like 2 foot swells,
man.
maybe a little bit of white capping going on.
Yeah.
But coming back it was like glass, and he opened her up. Whew.
Do you know how
2.5
fast you were?
hours down, and it was just over an hour back.
What?
So we were moving. Now we trolled in that northern direction for a while too.
Yeah.
But he covered some serious ground going back.
I'd say.
Did you
were
catch
moving.
a speed on how fast you were going?
No.
On the way back?
I was just holding on at that point.
I bet.
So all your fish came from trolling.
Yep. Yeah, everyone.
Yep. How many?
There was 2 fish that didn't necessarily come from trolling, but that's just because we happened to be bringing the lines in. They were already on
Yeah.
at that point, but yeah,
That's
still
trolling.
trolling. But yeah, that's all we were doing.
Gotcha.
40 lines out. You're going
It's
to catch whatever, if there's fish anywhere remotely close in the
all
water
honesty,
column.
it was all but 100-yard wide swath,
Of Cinco's.
and it was lined.
That's crazy.
We were running them these big paddle
Some
tail
daisy
swim
chains.
bait things on parachute rigs,
Yeah.
running tandems on half the lines, singles on another, and then we ran a couple umbrellas and then some real heavy dropper things on the downrigger side.
Nice.
But yeah.
Wow.
But Will, you mentioned that your captain knew these guys as the what do you mean your captain?
No. Well, so let me rephrase that. Deek and I all got out for striper the very next day.
Yes, you did.
So
I told you we'd leave you some.
Was that on the koozie?
I like to go hunting and fishing with the people that I podcast with.
Yeah,
So that's kind of cool, right?
I think so.
We were supposed to go flounder fishing Saturday, but we got blown out.
Oh, did you?
There was
Yeah.
going to be an epic flounder fishing trip.
Wow. Could you
To tell
imagine
on
that?
top of all this.
I just stayed at home and made some scrapple and eggs instead.
Did you
It was
really?
too windy
Buddy?
for turkey hunting or fishing or anything, so scrapple and eggs it was.
Yeah.
Stevie loves scrapple.
I wouldn't have had an opportunity to not shoot a turkey if I would have went flounder fishing,
Right.
and I'd have
That's
been okay
true.
with that.
I've never caught a flounder.
Haven't you?
I wasn't invited either.
Oh, my.
I've caught them from the surf, but never the way that we were going to do it. That looked like it was going to be pretty cool.
Very cool. I guess.
Well, tell us about your trip.
Me.
Yeah.
So, my cousin and I, like we did last year, Brandon, he books with the Catherine, the Catherine charter.
Catherine 2.
We were on the Catherine 2 this year. Last year we were on
Captain
Catherine.
Sam.
Yeah, we were on the Catherine 1
no
last year.
The original.
Now we're on the Catherine 2 with Captain Sam.
Nice.
Yeah, Sam's like not unlike our Sam, like our Sammy.
Like Sammy P.
Yeah. Very, very tall.
Big.
Is that the
guy.
dude that had the shorts on
Yeah.
in the pictures that you sent?
He was
Everyone else-
shorts and t-shirt and barefoot the whole day. And everybody else is like double layered. With
Everybody
like
has
jackets on.
Yeah, jackets.
Did he? And I'm just basing this off the pictures that I saw from you guys. But what's the captain's name from Wicked Tuna?
Yeah, he had long
Oh,
hair like that dude.
yeah.
If we just had a couple Rottweilers on the boat, it would have been the same.
I can't think of
Yeah.
his name now.
Oh. Yeah.
And his boat's a hot tuna.
Yeah.
But I can't think of the captain's name now.
This is the hot
That's gonna
Catherine.
drive me nuts.
Yep.
The hot Catherine. You brought Ruger and
Sam's like 6'6".
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just he reaches up as as high as anything. Doesn't need to
The
ladder.
mate
like-
was using like a step to get to the rocket launchers.
uh-huh.
And like Sam was just like
TJ.
there.
TJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks exactly like TJ from
I
Wicked
thought
Tuna.
so.
Those guys know the bay. They're so smart. We tried the troll. It's
For
not
5 hours.
Yeah, but it's just not. It's
That's
not on
tough.
right now where we are.
Yeah.
Where we were out of Chesapeake Beach, and not saying it's not going to turn on tomorrow. You know,
We were marking a lot of fish.
Yeah.
A lot of bait. I mean, like he was in the zone. It just they were tight-lipped.
Yeah, he was just like, I hate seeing fish and us not catching them. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of the same things.
He said, I wish we weren't.
Yeah.
I wish I wasn't seeing them. Like I wish it was just nothing in between us and the
make
bottom.
his life a little bit, his decisions a little easier.
But we're seeing crazy fish, crazy bait balls, everything. So we had a plan B. Plan B was to go after some blue cats and channel
Nice.
cats.
That's all right.
And he had a bunch of bunkers. Like
Where the bunk at?
Yeah, we asked him.
Yeah, we had them in a crate. It was a crate of frozen bunker.
Frozen bunker.
Bunker.
So we started to get ready to do that, and he saw just a deluge, a whirlwind of activity
Yeah.
with the birds.
Like the mate even had all the catfishing rigs out, and we were getting ready to. We pulled in all the trolling stuff, and we were
Yeah.
moving to go to the catfish zone, and he just saw a pile of birds working south of us, and he just hammered down. The mate crab went under.
That was the fastest the boat went all day.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he just hammered down.
and the mate's grabbing another set of rods out from underneath. And
Time to make hay.
yeah,
That's cool.
So we ended up jigging for most of our striper or
Yeah.
striped bass.
well, it's back up a little bit. We did catch two on the troll.
We
You did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
two smaller ones,
Okay.
about in the 20 to 26 inch range.
Let's back up even further.
even farther.
Deek says to me, William, would you like to hear the bad news?
Sounds exactly how he would say it.
This is the night before while driving down.
Yeah, would you like to hear the bad news now, or would you like to hear it after the trip? And I don't personally care when you tell me bad news.
Yeah, it doesn't affect you.
It is what it is. Let's roll.
Yeah.
Until you tell me that this is the fourth trip that you've been on, or that you've been on 4 previous trips and been skunked every time.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this was my 4th trolling trip in the Chesapeake Bay, and none of the 3 previous trips, not a fish was landed.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
we're going into this with
now I don't want to jump too far ahead in the story.
Yeah, jump ahead.
But how long were you guys trolling before you did land one?
It was probably around 9.
yeah.
So
9:30.
2 hours?
No, we went out at like 6.
Yeah, we were
3 hours.
probably fishing by 6.
Wow.
So
We're
it was
through.
around like 8:30. You were ready to throw them off the boat.
3 hours in, we're all just sleeping. Everybody's
Yeah,
kind of taking
everybody's
naps.
I thought maybe you were looking to dump the curse of the Deek.
I knew it was happening. Nobody else did. And I just was like, I'm getting giddy because it's in between snoring. I'm getting giddy.
That's got to be tough for a captain, to have people
To
on
have
your boat
Deek
sleeping.
on the boat.
No, but to see the guys just sitting down. I know that it happens, but man, boy, that's got to be really
Dramamine was.
disheartening.
I was all.
Oh, that'll do it.
I had Dramamine on board after the duck hunt. I Dramamined it
Yeah.
up.
That's good.
Yeah, made sure you took some before bed.
I double dosed it.
You got to start the night before. That's the trick.
Can I pause your story for just a moment? There it is. He paused.
Pause me.
I do not get seasick.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. But growing up on boats and stuff like I have, it just never bothered me. We went on a cruise, our first cruise, and everybody on this cruise ship was getting sick
Is that a
because it
thing?
was real rough.
Can you overdose on Dramamine?
No. Most of the time it isn't an issue. This was exceptionally bad because we went out of Baltimore and there was some real bad storms off the coast.
Because you had south?
It was just bad. Yeah. It was just bad news. And there were warnings and the crew was telling everybody, but even the crew was like getting sick on this particular event. Never bothered me.
Was it like a 80s metal cruise?
No.
I think if you head north
miss?
coming out of
I don't know.
Baltimore, you'll hit the Susquehanna, won't you?
I don't know. Sometimes they have like
No, this
cruises
was
like
Susquehanna River
Theme cruise. Like
Yeah,
you can
some
go
kind of theme.
No, it
cruise with Bon
definitely-
Jovi,
It definitely was not one of those. But
Taylor
yeah,
Dane.
even that situation never got to me. Didn't bother me. When we first went out in the morning, we had an issue after we caught the first fish where we had to pull half the lines back in. There was an issue with the planer board, and we got a couple lines tangled up all the way out at the end of the
Scooter sticks.
we had an issue with a couple of the lines going out, and we had to pull half the boat. So I decided to help out the way that they, like you were saying, how the first mate was helping with the rocket launchers and stuff. Like they have a bunch of those way up in the crow's nest.
Okay.
Right. So I'm going to help out. The captain's pulling lines, and then they're resetting them as they're pulling them off. And I'm going to go up top and help out. Brad's up top because he's helping to navigate the ship while the captain's out back doing his thing. I'm going to help hand rods so Brad can focus on driving.
You're in a crow's nest?
In the crow's nest. And I actually
get sick?
started feeling it. I didn't get sick.
You were up that
I
up against.
I was
Well,
all the
center
way
of
up on
gravity.
top of the
But,
ship.
but no, like up there, you're moving way
Excellent.
more than you are if you're.
You're
Accentuated,
unmedicated.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't get sick.
I don't get sick, so I didn't put nothing on. And it was, I was up there about 25 minutes or so, and they were just wrapping up, and we were getting all the lines back out. Everything was pretty much
You
set.
start deep breathing.
And I looked at Brad, and I was like, I was taking some deep breaths, and I burped a couple of times, and I was just like,
That's the worst.
And I looked at Brad,
You
and I
know
said,
it's coming.
I'm going back down. And he goes, yeah, it's getting pretty bad up here. I was like, yeah, I'm going down. And I went down, and I stood there, and I was just like, oh, this really sucked to be Will. Like, I can't, dealing with that is just, I can't think of anything else.
I can't.
I was
sit
so
in the back
amped
of
up.
a car. I can't.
And they say once you are in that state, you can't get rid of it.
No.
Either. Like there's no coming back from that for a while.
I try to feed it.
Politically correct
I
or
try
not,
to eat everything.
chugged a beer.
I try to do everything.
I chugged a beer at 7 in the
morning.
morning, and it really helped.
Did it?
Yeah,
I did.
It kind of reset me.
I just try.
Really?
I don't know. I can't get rid of it. And
Yeah.
I've never had it. So
It was a temporary thing.
when
but
I
that was
medicate,
rough.
I was fine
you're good.
all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really was feeling for you. I was thinking about you too, because I'm like, this
for
is
you.
this is a tough thing to deal with, because there's nothing else that I can think about except for how crappy I feel right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got through it, worked it out. Never got sick, which was good. I didn't want to be
You
the
know,
guy.
in
chumming.
all honesty, too, like that duck trip, I just didn't want to. Like, I knew we weren't far from the truck and all
Yeah.
that stuff, so it was like I don't want to ruin your time. Like we have limited time. We're not,
right.
you know.
Well,
And for
you
all
were
of
a
us to-
trooper, and I thank you for that.
It was just, you know, our
So back
trip
to your story. Sorry.
turned out to be freaking awesome, and
So you were jigging.
Well, we caught those two on the troll.
Yeah.
and the curse. So my mom
curse of the
lifted the curse
Yes.
of the Deek.
Amperage.
Your mom was
nailed
there.
it.
My mom
Oh,
and
your
Uncle
mom.
Ron,
Not your mom.
Not your mom, but
Not your mom.
my mom,
Gotcha.
Pod mom.
Pod mom,
Okay.
R2 mom lifts the curse of the Deek
Nice.
because she's got pretty good luck. Ron's got crazy luck.
He does.
That dude is. You don't want
He's
to.
dipped in it.
He has the magic touch.
You don't want to do any of the first with him. Like if he's never. His stingray, first time out, he's killed a bigger stingray than I did in 27 attempts. It's stupid. Like
I spent a day trolling in that bay with him, and he even handed me his rod out to his side of the boat, and I still couldn't catch a fish. And he'd catch one on with my rod, that different color lure on it, my side of the boat.
Yeah.
Hand him back, boom. He
Went to Canada
I don't
with
know
us.
what it
Yeah.
is, but I think it's you.
Is that what he sounded
Caught.
like?
They
In
had
your head, it does at the time after it's like the 18th walleye
Yeah.
he's snagged in, you know.
Bucky and Uncle Ron had, you know, this
And it was a great day.
a
Don't get me-
stringer
Yeah.
full of fish, like they were providing supper for the whole camp, and every one of them was caught
Oh,
by
my
a
rod. Every one of
Oh
them.
boy.
But this didn't change. Like
Good
again,
on him, man.
you know, he's got great luck.
Yeah.
So, you know, I thought in my head that, and I have decent luck. You know, I mean, I go to Florida and catch the biggest peacock bass.
One time.
I have decent luck. You know what I mean? I think that there's enough mojo on the
Right,
boat that
to
can
offset the
override
I
a
told
Deek.
you where to cast that bait in Florida for that bass too.
You won't let that down. will
I
you?
don't remember that.
Thanks,
I think
Jesus.
you were,
Well, I was standing right beside
Yeah.
you when it happened.
he told me to cast it on the other side.
Said, "See that sewer pipe?
I don't think he did.
Cast it there."
I think that's where you threw it after I pulled that bass out, thinking there was a bigger one. Anyway, we ended up. Yeah, I thought we had enough mojo to cover up, offset the Deek,
Seems like a bunch of work.
the Deek darkness, and it did.
So you were jigging.
We did. So, Captain, we started to initiate Plan B. Captain sees birds working, a couple other boats, throws the hammer down, and he's like, Plan C is now in effect. And
Oh, but I pulled one in while trolling too. I caught one trolling.
yeah,
Yeah. I thought we only said amperage. Caught one trolling.
she lifted the bail.
Yeah.
But we did. So I thought we did say we caught two.
She
trolling.
opened the floodgates.
Yes. We caught 2 trolling.
Can
down.
we please get to the part where you guys are jigging?
Deek got one trolling. It was the best thing ever. And because of the Deekness, he was, we did the ladies first and then
Then ladies first, I guess. Thanks, guys.
and then Deek.
Ladies first and second.
So R2 Mom and Deek got their chances at the trolling fish.
Oh dear.
Right after that, bud, what happened?
I'm hoping this is the part where you talk about
We initiate
jigging.
Plan C. Boom. He gave us a little speech saying, "Hey guys, if you see birds, let me know."
Yeah.
And that's not happening. We didn't see anything.
You're
going
like,
on.
are those the birds there?
How about those birds?
Those are cormorants. Those aren't the ones he's looking for.
Yeah, and then he kind of like gave me a Jedi arm wave.
Oh boy.
So these are not the cormorants I'm looking
These
for.
are not-
I'm working it for. I'm trying to work for him. I'm like, I don't know. That's got to be working birds.
You asked for
over there.
birds.
Yeah, look
But
at that bird.
he hammers down through this whole pot of birds in the middle
I feel
of
like I heard this before.
in the middle of them. It says, "Drop them,
But he's
boys."
and then we're just drifting.
Just
And you
drop.
drift into the birds, or he?
Oh, we were in the.
Yeah.
It was that big of a set of birds.
Oh,
The
really?
first one that he just got in the center of them, and then we drifted.
Oh,
and we're
we
just
had-
dropping lines.
About 2-inch.
2-inch lead spoons, and then a jig,
And
a Bass Candy Delight jig.
Oh, and then Deeky's Bass Candy Delight, which I'll tell you about that a little bit later.
But we're all dropping lines, and I mean, there's doubles, triples, quadruples.
I had a double on
Oh
one
yeah,
line.
on one. Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Hi.
His depth finder was blowing up
It was going
with
crazy.
bait and fish.
And
And I mean, like, you dropped it, jig once, twice, bam, there's a fish. And like, these are schoolie size stripers,
Yeah,
but
but
man,
still.
they're
ultralight tackle, it was
30 inches plot. Or not 30 inches. They're 20.
20 to
20,
25,
yeah.
26
How
inch,
deep were you jigging in?
like 30 foot.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're
Fun.
using, like, you would take that rod and bass fish with it.
Really?
Yeah, it was lighter tackle. It was awesome.
Wow.
And the first thing the Deek did is he leaned over to me and he goes, Stevie would really like this.
I was just gonna say I like this story much better when you guys were sleeping while you were trolling.
Dude, it was stupid because all we did from that point on was the second that the bite let up, he was like, we're moving. And we just get back on the birds.
Wow.
Drift
That's
through
cool.
another set of birds. And it
That's
was
cool.
like 6 boats doing this.
Really?
And like, what was funny is we're the slower 15-foot wide, 45-foot long boat.
It's a
And then
nice
there's
boat.
like these 25-footers with like dual 300s on.
Yeah.
Like we would take off because like the captain knew, he's like, okay, this is done. They're still like recreational guys, still like trying to work this school. He takes off. And then they see us take off, and then they like fly by us to the next school of fish and next working birds. But so it was kind of fun to like be in that situation of like
Yeah.
just chaos. I mean, birds going crazy, boats going crazy.
I bet we caught over 30 fish.
Yeah.
Around 30, whatever.
That's cool,
it was
though.
just.
And how many we lost too? I mean, like you'd be reeling in and boom, it'd pop off.
Yeah.
Or, like,
But it was just ridiculous. I mean,
once like somebody
We
wouldn't catch a fish for a little bit. Okay, we're moving.
there was too much action.
Yeah.
For us to take pictures or do whatever, it was chaos.
That's cool.
That is. That's fun.
And just kudos to that captain because he could have called it, been like, okay,
Yeah.
we are done. You know,
Yeah.
your time allotted is over. You know, but no, that's actually kind of when we started working birds was kind of when our charter probably would have been up.
Really?
Yeah, but he went the extra effort.
Good on him.
Yeah.
That's when you know you got a good one. They're just in it to make sure everybody has a good day.
It just has to kill you just seeing guys not. I
But-
mean, you're on the water, you're having fun, but not catching fish is.
Yeah.
And hopefully they got into it because they're fishermen before.
Yeah.
So, and we know how
They
we
know
all
what
feel.
it's like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's bass candy lights, man. I've caught them with it before, and there was only one of those rods with it.
And that
And
was
somehow like we were kind of like moving around a little bit, changing rods a little bit, and like we're moving another set of birds, and Will had that rod.
There's some people that weren't good fishermen. We were fishing with all kind. That they were just
Yeah.
new fishermen. So
Yeah.
like
I mean, there's from Uncle Ron who just hammering it to maybe relatively new to fishing.
Yeah, and when their line gets caught or something like that, you just grab the rod, or you get a fish on, and you're like, "Here, reel this in."
Yeah,
and
I'll
you
fix
just
your
start
reel, you know.
swapping rods.
Yeah.
I'll fix it. And
So describe for me a bass candy delight. Are we talking like a hair jig? What is it?
You know the Bass Assassins?
Yeah.
Okay, so like what would you even call it? Like a shad
Like
type.
a fluke or
Yeah, like a fluke rig.
Yeah.
Okay. They're like that with a slightly different action. And it's the guy who makes them, I'm probably wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure it's from Edgewater, Maryland.
Yeah, it's down in Maryland.
I mean, it's definitely like in the heart of striped bass country for the Bay,
Yeah.
where they're made, where like that's where they're distributed from. They look like people would probably take the Bass Assassin or the Sexy Fluke thing and be like, oh, that'll work. These just have a different slight action.
Did they upscale them a little bit because
They might
for
be an
striped
inch
bass?
longer.
Okay,
They're not much bigger than the
All
Bass
right, all right.
Assassins, like to be honest.
but they just have a different swim action.
Yeah, just slightly different. And the guy who makes them, that's what he does.
so
Now, what color are they?
I was using a chartreuse and purple.
Okay, so it's not that this bass candy is a certain color. I thought maybe
No,
that was
like
a
Bass
little-
Candy
is
Delight's the
name-
brand.
Okay, okay. I thought it might have been like a color and a style. And,
No. Yep.
So Deek wasn't catching a fish, I guess, on his little spoon,
Yeah.
on his little 2-inch.
I went like one drop without catching on the spoon, and I wanted that Bass Candy back.
So then he leans over and goes, "Can I have that rod?" And I'm just like, "Okay, buddy, you sure."
felt
can.
bad for him,
Yeah,
didn't
you can. Yeah, you. And I like hook a fish for him, and I let him reel it in.
Oh, that was nice of you.
Thanks.
That's funny.
Thanks,
You said you
Will.
went out of Chesapeake Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're talking about this bass candy thing.
you like that hotel?
That was a nice hotel.
Yeah, I liked it.
Okay, so sorry to derail you.
That's
Like,
all right.
I knew it was going to be a good hotel. We walked in, and there's a display of vintage pen reels that were like
At the hotel.
Yeah,
At
you
the
pee
hotel.
yourself.
Really?
Yeah, like it was just a set of them, like 40, 50 of them, just
That's
pen
cool.
reels, just sitting there, like on display as like folk art, you know. But yeah, I was like, these people know what's up.
Yeah.
This is a cool place.
Yeah.
Nice.
And when you fish with one of their charters in the marina there, you get a slight discount. So don't be afraid to, say you're fishing
them know.
with their one.
That's sometimes when we travel to go hunting or fishing,
Yeah.
we don't ever get to see the place other than at night or early in the morning or when you're exhausted and you need to
Yeah.
get home.
Right.
That is again one of those little towns that I would like to see
Yeah.
in the evening a little bit, get there earlier in the after, like late afternoon, get some dinner there, walk around before like you need to get to bed and get rested to go on your trip the next morning.
Well, here's a reason to make sure you get a chance to do that. The guy that I went out with, all of his parachute rigs are handmade by a shop right there in Chesapeake Beach.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Now you tell us.
Yeah.
After we left.
Well, yeah. I didn't really put 2 and 2 together until we were telling our stories tonight. Sorry.
That's okay.
I didn't realize how close we actually were.
No, so Striper Madness carries over into Turkey Mayhem.
Ain't that something?
It does.
Stevie, what'd you do?
We already did me.
Yeah. So then Bucky and I got back together, finished up the week where we went down to the Donegals
After
and
we were turkey hunting.
hooked up with Brandon Krauser.
Oh, yeah.
And Brian Cunningham. You know, so we talked about the whole month was about how the raceway got
washed out.
decimated basically by this flood. Some of the walls caved in and all kinds of stuff. So it was madness. They lost a bunch of stuff, and I didn't realize the extent of the damage. And
To go see it, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
yeah.
Wow.
But they had a work day, and so when we got off the mountain, we ran down and
hang on, before you go in, before we got off the mountain, we came here real quick to the Podcastle.
Yeah.
And I have to tell a dirty little secret of the podcast. I found something out, guys. We have a barista in our midst. I may be able to cook, but Mr. Will Miser can brew up one heck of a latte. I mean, it was
I can see him wearing one of those like aprons, behind
guys,
the counter.
It was the best cup of coffee I've had.
Did he make the little heart in
Did
your?
he draw a leaf-like thing?
He doesn't
foam?
need to, but it tasted so good, that latte.
Oh, but you did with your eyes first.
Man, it
sip with your eye.
it was delicious.
Is that what he said when he handed it to you? Sip with your eyes.
Drink it in. Go ahead.
This little foamy heart is for you.
And I don't want to derail, but that was like, holy cow, Mr. Miser, hidden talent, barista. Get your lattes from him.
So anyway, we went to the Donegals.
You're going to like him a latte.
Thanks a latte.
No, thank you, brother. Thank you. That got me going.
No, I enjoy my coffees, as everyone knows.
I can tell.
My lattes. Moving forward, we hook up with Brian Cunningham, Brandon Krauser. They have a beautiful spring. Yeah, this like
spring-fed creek,
50-degree
And
whatever temperatures year round.
At the very head, 54 to 55 degrees. They said year round, and the spring house on top of it from the 1600s still there. It was a creek, but they're at the very head of it.
Yeah, the water is crystal clear.
Yeah,
and they have walls built up on both sides to kind of like contain the fish, and they have like multiple sections.
This is at that nursery?
At the nursery.
Okay.
It transitions from this little tiny stream into something bigger. The trout that they have right now, they were able to recover from that pond area. They were to bring some back, put it, to get it back in, but they lost all the fish that they had from
the flood blew out the whole raceway.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Gone.
And what they still had in, they tried to keep in, but somehow because of undermining from the walls into the banks, they were able to, one day they had fish, and then the next day they showed up, no fish were in there in the raceway at all.
They can't catch a break right now.
Yeah.
Huh.
So like I said, these walls are collapsed. They're putting them back up. They're building them higher to get to, so the flooding doesn't affect them. They have a plan, and they have a limited budget, and they have a limited resource to get these things accomplished.
Yeah.
That's the heartbreaking thing, is that there's, they're kind of just, their hands are tied.
Yeah.
And then as we were there, we got word that the fish, in Donegal Creek there was some reason there was a big die off. A big kill. And so it's I don't understand how their hearts are so big and they put so much effort into 2 streams like that's all they care about.
And that's Mud Run and Donegal Creek, right?
And little chickies.
Okay.
Yep, which Mud Run feeds into that. But they have, they're kind of like the stewards of these little creeks that ultimately lead into the Susquehanna.
They put their lives into it.
They do.
They put their spare time and years in.
The guys that were there are older guys, and they've been there for a long time. They've been doing it for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And they were just wrapping up because we turkey hunted, and they started around 8 or so, and they were getting ready to be done whenever we got there. But Brian and Brandon gave us the rundown. It was just,
that's cool.
It was very cool. It was awesome. Like, you got to get there. Join the club. Become a member. And put your hand in the creek or in the that spring. It's just, it's next level. It's just chill.
Somehow I got in one of those deep YouTube dives of where you just keep watching a video. I ended up getting to a point where it was watching a hatchery work, and that is just fascinating. I mean, even if it's just from a fingerling to the whole way to what gets released into a stock trout. I mean, just the effort that there's any like that type of work is just phenomenal.
They have scheduled feedings.
And it's a way of life. It's not I'm doing it for a little bit. No, it's a lot of commitment.
And there's they have a checks and balances. They get a lot of their fish come from the state. So in order for that to be a thing, you have to, at certain intervals, your fish have to grow at these intervals, and you have to, they have to be a certain size at a certain.
Yeah, you have to keep up with standards.
Yeah.
So you can't, I don't know. I think it's amazing, and we've been kind of awoke.
Something that I put together some of Trout of Control. It was a rock bottom raceway. So they were able to, there was bugs in the bottom of these raceways to give them natural feed.
Yeah, natural.
And I remember that from an earlier episode on Trout of Control, as well as they raised 3 different kinds of species as well, and they use these slots to put screens in.
Yeah.
It was just neat to see on a smaller scale what these guys do.
Yeah.
And the entire Saturday was learning A to Z the entire day.
You're on learning overload.
I was grinning like a Cheshire cat the entire day. I mean, it was outdoors, and it was great for this ADHD kid because we were changing gears up and doing different things. And
Brandon had barbecue for us.
Oh, that barbecue was good. We ate 2 Sammys.
No kids.
Yeah. And then that got us all jacked up, so we had to move some cinder block for them.
All kinds of stuff going on.
Want to eat, you got to work.
Yeah. But
I think we did this current a little justice. I mean, it was a big, heavy week.
It's a big week.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, definitely.
a lot of things
keep
going
having
on.
weeks like that. Let's keep it up.
I think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's some stuff coming down the pike. Stay tuned. It's going to get good.
I hope there's a part 2 to Gobbler's Knob coming up, bud.
We set up on Gobbler's Knob. I forgot we named it.
That's what we called that. Yeah.
So don't forget, this episode was brought to you in part by Smoke in the Grove Barbecue Festival.
Smoke in the Grove.
It's being held July 26th and 27th in Spring Grove, Pennsylvania. For more information, go to smokeinthegrove.com. Get you those burnt ends. And by Moses Family Jerky. Get 15% off your next order from mfjerky.com by using promo code JerkyPursuits15.
Go to mfjerky.com.
Guys, another epic week.
Yeah, buddy.
More to continue. We are in turkey mayhem.
Yeah.
We are.
Hey, Deek,
Yeah, bud.
where can they find us?
You can find us at rutandriverpursuit.com. Search Rut and River Pursuit on all the social media, the Instagram, the Facebook, the Twitter, and Rut and River Pursuit podcast on YouTube. Search for us individually on Instagram and Facebook. You know, we could use some reviews on Apple Podcast or iHeartRadio or Spotify.
Yeah.
You know, leave us a little review. Check that 5 stars out.
Or whatever you want.
Whatever you think we're deemed worthy of. You know.
5. Yeah.
Of course it's 5.
Right. It sounds exactly right.
I think so.
And reach out to us too if you're catching big fish, shooting turkeys, whatever it is. You know, make sure you reach out to us, send us those pictures, tag us and stuff.
Hashtag Turkey Mayhem, and we'll feature on a post on our Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Be part of our story.
Yeah. Come talk to us.
Do it.
Love it.
See you, boys.
Good on you, boys. See ya.
Glue, 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 glue.
Bring 'em weightless.
That's turkey. That's some gobble gobble.
That sounded like striped bass.
Bring 'em weightless.
Holding it up around my chin, that thing was almost mid-shin. It was big.
Yeah, but you're only like,
Hey, easy.
okay.
You're like a
Deek.
50-pound striped bass.
Don't make me be medium heavy, extra sensitive tonight.
Too late.
I think you're showing your colors, bud.
From chin to shin, you're 50
From
pounds.
That's right.
You're all but 50
chin to shin.
pounds,
I'm a
dude.
50 pounder.
Was it like a 80s metal cruise?
No.
I think if you head north
miss?
coming out of
I don't know.
Baltimore, you'll hit the Susquehanna, won't you?
I don't know. Sometimes they have like
No, this
cruises
was
like
Susquehanna River
Theme cruise. Like
yeah,
you can
some
go
kind of theme.
no. it
cruise with Bon
definitely-
Jovi, you know?
It
Yeah.
definitely was not one of those. But
Taylor
yeah,
Dane.
even that situation never got to me. Didn't bother me.
Ron's got crazy luck.
He does.
That dude is. You don't want
He's
to.
dipped in it.
He has the magic touch.
You don't want to do any of the first with him. Like if he's never. His stingray, first time out, he's killed a bigger stingray than I did in 27 attempts. It's stupid.